Hi, welcome back, Marvel Rival fans. We are here with another Ultimate Guide, and today we're going to be talking about the main man, Groot himself. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting out, this guide should help you master Groot and skyrocket up in the ranks and allow you to dominate each and every opponent that comes before you. Groot is a menace and he can be really good if you understand his kit and can get all of his skills down and use them in unison. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And before we get started, I usually stream over on Twitch. You can find that down in the description below. And yeah, let's jump right into it. All right, so first up we have Groot. As you see, the man himself. So Groot is a difficulty 2, a Flora Colossus from Planet X. The alien known as Groot exhibits enhanced vitality and the ability to manipulate all forms of vegetation. As sturdy as a towering tree, Groot forges his own way, serving as the team's silent but reliable pathfinder. And as you can see, Groot is a vanguard, so he is a tank within, I guess, traditional terms of, I guess, hero shooters. So yeah, he is the tank, the front line, the person that's gonna see the most damage. He is an awesome character to play. He definitely holds his own and can hold his own if he is by himself for at least a little bit, or at least having one healer. So next up, we are gonna jump into his abilities. So first up, his normal attack is Vine Strike. Vine Strike launch vines to attack enemies. I believe this has a range of about 20 meters. So his range for this is actually pretty incredible. You wouldn't think that it's as far as it is just from, I guess, looking at the animation, but it is actually pretty far. And then next up, we have his Q, or his ultimate, so Strangling Prison. So essentially, he fires like a big, looks almost like a seed, and it clusters all enemies together, and they just take damage over time for a certain amount of time. I think it's only for like maybe 5 seconds, maybe if that. And next up, we have the left shift, which is Thorn Lash Wall. Target a location and grow a Thorn Lash Wall. When awakened, it strikes nearby enemies attacked by Groot and his allies. This is a very, very important skill. We're gonna get into why this is very important, but just keep it back in your head that this is a very important skill. So next up, we have Ironwood Wall. So target a location and grow an Ironwood Wall. When the wall is awakened, damage dealt by Groot and nearby allies grant Groot bonus health. This is also one of those important, like very important skills that you need to just be aware on how to use it. So whenever we hit the practice range and kind of go through his moves, I will tell you all about it. So next up, we have his V, which is his melee. So Furious Floor, perform a combo with his arms, and the third strike will slightly launch up the enemy, hit the enemy airborne. So this is really like if any enemy or Hulk or any other tank want to like get in your face, you got some hands for them. And then next up, we have Spore Bomb, which is another important asset to Groot's kit. So essentially, you throw an explosive spore bomb that splits into multiple small explosive spores. So it hits initially, and as you can see in the little, I guess, video example, it hits initially, and then it also has like little spores that explode afterwards. And then we have his passive, which is Flora Colossus. Wooden walls near Groot will awaken, activating an extra effect. Pressing the normal attack while building a wooden wall to continue building additional walls. So essentially, you can, for the Thorn Lash Wall, you can make more than one wall if you hold it versus just tapping and making one. And then he also has passives with Rocket Raccoon and Jeff the Shark. So Jeff the Land Shark and Rocket Raccoon can ride on Groot's shoulders, receiving damage reduction. This gives Groot, I believe, I want to say, an extra 125 health, which again makes Groot an animal. I believe Groot is the highest health having tank in the game so far right now. So yeah, having another additional 125 makes Groot insane. So yeah, we're gonna jump over to the practice range so I can kind of show these skills in action. All right, so we are here in the practice range. So first up, we're going to be talking about his normal attack or vine strike. So obviously we are at the 20 meter or right behind the 20 meter mark. We're probably about 22. So as you can see, we don't hit enemies from this range. But if we go directly on top of the 20 meter range, we hit at all times. So Groot has a definite range of 20 meters whenever he is trying to hit with a vine strike. So keep that in mind whenever you're fighting enemies. Try to make sure that you're not outside of the 20 meter mark. So next up, we're going to talk about his Thorn Lash walls. So Groot's Thorn Lash walls are very important because they allow Groot to do an additional amount of damage. As you can see, it only took me to hit that bot, what, 2 times, and it died because of the wall. So essentially, every thorn strike or a vine strike, you get an additional hit from the wall.
That's 3.
So yeah, that makes Groot's DPS very strong. But I also want to note there is a small green line. It's like it's not very evident, but if you can see it, I will try to point it out in the video with like a little arrow or something. But if you can see it on the screen right now, there is like a thin little green line around Groot that moves. So you have to be within this line in order for your walls to activate. So as you can see, we are right outside, or the wall is right outside of the range, but we're on the 20 meter mark. So if I go to hit this bot, the wall will not attack. But as soon as I step up and make sure that my wall is within range, and I'm going to wait to this spot, more health. As you can see, the vines immediately came out. So you want to make sure that you are always within range of your walls. You want to always place them in a specific spot to make sure you are within range. I've also seen people do certain things of like grabbing enemies in this way. This is actually kind of hard whenever you're playing in an actual lobby full of people that are pretty competent and that move around. It's pretty hard to kind of lock them in like a 90-degree angle, but it's always easy to kind of get the wall behind them. But if you can manage to trap them in there, you will do an amazing amount of DPS. Groot is one of those guys that Groot is one of the tanks that can honestly out DPS in a DPS so long as he's within the action, so long as you know how to use his kit. So whenever you are playing, try to always get these walls or get these behind enemies at all times. That is going to like skyrocket your DPS. What I like to do is try to run or put the wall behind them, and then I will always press if I can. If there's a healer or something like right behind me, I will always press this enemy to make them back up. And once they back up, they run into my wall. And if their DPS or other allies aren't aware and don't destroy this wall fast enough, I will literally quickly get a quick KO or quick knockout if it's a DPS or a healer. Now, if it's a tank, it may take a little bit more, but the same thing still applies. So next up, we're going to talk about the seed bomb or the spore bomb. So the spore bomb also activates the walls. So that means it does a lot of damage along with the walls. And then you can also hit it with Vine Strike. So this is one of the combos that you want to, I guess, kind of keep on your list of things to do whenever you're playing with Groot. So you always want to throw the spore bomb. And as you can see, the spore bomb also activates the wall. And once you throw the spore bomb, you want to follow it up with a Vine Strike. And then that's an instant KO if that's a DPS or healer. And if they're stuck on the wall. Easy. It's easiest. Groot makes it look too easy. Like, look at this. Like, look at that. You see how fast that went? See how fast that robot went down? Like, look at this.
Double
Like, that is
kill.
insane. And then imagine if we had another wall here.
That's
That's easy. Easy kills. That's just how simple it is with Groot. So next up, we are going to talk about the Ironwood Wall. So in a lot of lobbies that I've seen, enemies or people or allies, whoever I see, whoever's playing Groot, like to place this wall in front of enemies, which may not always be a bad thing. You may want to sometimes use this wall to like kind of block off line of sight so your team behind you can kind of get situated. But you want to use this wall mainly as a buff and not a defense. So what I always tend to do is I try to place this wall off to the side so no one really cares about it, no one really sees it. So I place it off to the side so I can attack. And as you can see, I gain health so long as I'm attacking any enemies. And it also applies whenever my allies attack it.
wow.
So I can get up to 1,100 health just from sticking that wall to the side. So that's an additional what? I went from 850 to 1,100. Like, look at that. That's amazing to me. And then if you have Rocket Raccoon or Jeff the Lane Shark on your shoulder or with you, that will give you an additional, I think, 125 health by itself. So now you're looking at about 1,250 or 1,225 health. That makes Groot even more of a challenge to deal with, because now you have to burn the health down even more. That means he can stay alive a little bit longer than your average tank, and your healers behind you don't really have to worry that much about you, because one thing you can do is you can block them off, and if you have to retreat, just block them off and keep it moving. You still have your additional health and you can keep moving. The same thing applies with the Ironwood Wall. You still have to make sure that you are within the green space. So what I like to always try to do whenever we're playing like an objective based mode that makes us move around, such as convoy, I try to place it in an area that I know we're going to be moving to make sure I can stay within range and gain that extra health. And as soon as I feel like, all right, we won this spot, I will press my E and then relocate the wall. And you kind of just do this over and over again as you move up to different areas. So now I want to talk about a little special combo that you may want to do. So we talked about using the spore bomb and the thorn lash walls. Now we're going to add in his Q ability, the strangling prison. So what I've seen is that a lot of groups just kind of just throw their ult on the ground, like over here somewhere, you know, and they kind of just really just gathers all the enemies together in one specific spot. But you're losing out on DPS when you do this, because what you could do is place a wall, and I can show you all real time. Place a wall behind enemies, get into a specific spot or a good spot to where you can like maneuver around, throw your ult out and hit the wall behind them. Don't hit the enemies themselves. Hit the wall behind them or try to hit the ground right in front. And you hit that immediately, and then you go for spore bomb, and then you just hit a spine strike. That immediately kills all DPS, all healers, and depending on the tank, you may have to do 1 or 2 vine strikes. Literally, I kid you not. Try it out. I'm gonna show you a little clip right now to show you that I'm not kidding. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that clip, but yeah, let's jump into some gameplay and let's see how Groot works. I'm gonna talk about some sort of like some tips and tricks and try to do like some maneuverability, and yeah, we're gonna go from there. the next piece. So as you can see, I placed this wall on the side so I can get that additional health. As you can see, my health is like right now 930, 970. So long as my teammates are attacking, I'm getting additional health. And I also have that additional health from Rocket that is sitting on my shoulder. So what I try to do in this, I try to cut off any healers and any DPS from each other. So I try to use the convoy as somewhat of a in between. So you know, it's a lot harder to kind of jump over things. So I try to place the walls right in between the DPS and the healers. That way they can't get back, and when I try to push them, they can't run backwards and they get killed or they get knocked into my walls. This allows me to get like easy kills, honestly, at all times. It's too easy at times. So right there, I just closed off that Reed Richards, and I wanted to push him, but he pushed back to the other side and destroyed the wall. But alas, he kept coming back, so I spore bombed him, and immediately I tried to hit him with the wall, but our squirrel girl got him. So what I try to do a lot of times is get that wall right behind enemies, and if you can get that wall behind enemies, you are going to be in a perfect position. Because right here, as you can see, my vine started doing work on that Punisher, and he immediately had to back away. And as you can see, we also got an assist for killing that other Groot, because immediately we threw that wall up, and he was standing right on top of it. But the biggest thing with Groot, you want to make sure that you are, for one, always frontline, but you want to always make sure that you're replenishing your E and keeping an eye on your ironwood wall. This allows you to stay in the game, allows you to continue fighting, and just not have the healers stress so much about you. You know, the less the healers have the stress about you, the better it is, because then they can focus on the DPS and everyone else that may need healing. As you can see, I tried to capture that Reed Richards in the wall, but I couldn't quite get him there. And then this Groot tried to ult me, but I was like, yeah, we're gonna shut that down right now. All right, now that I showed you some defense, we're gonna hop on over to offense. So as you can see, I'm over here just like trying to get some walls down. I placed my ironwood wall down, but I'm trying to place my walls. I tried to cut that Groot off from the enemy team, but I'm pretty sure I was able to cut that Hulk off to not get healed. So he went into the Bruce Banner form, and that got him killed immediately. So we're building ultimate, and we're still just trying to hold back, because right now, as you see, Cloak and Dagger just used their ultimate. So we're kind of just holding off for a minute, waiting for that to clear, and once that clears, we kind of push on in. I let the combo destroy those walls. I didn't really care about it. And as you can see, I don't know if you can get ready, I was preparing for that ultimate. So this ultimate was a game changer in this, because as you can see, they were holding us back pretty well and we couldn't really get through. But I waited for them to use whatever ultimates that they had, and I tried to make sure I timed it perfectly. So as soon as I thought it was the perfect time to do it, as you can see, I placed the wall down, and then I immediately went for the ult. So watch, place the wall, and I went for the ult, and immediately threw a spore bomb and got rid of their healer. And then we went after the other healer. I think they got stuck and tried to run, and I made sure to get them. So yeah, there it is. There it is in action. It's easy. Groot's amazing. I hope you truly have enjoyed watching this video. That about wraps it up. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next one. Let me know in the comments down below what character you would like to see next, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.